Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. Let's see another exercise on second normal form. We are given a table R which has four attributes A, B, C, D, and we have two functional dependencies AB determines C and B determines D. Clearly mentioned in the question, decompose this table into 2NF. First of all, you will have to see whether it contains partial dependency. If this table has partial dependency, then this table is not in 2NF. But for knowing whether this has partial dependency or not, you will have to first of all find the candidate key. Now, what is a super method to find candidate key? See the right hand side of all the FDs. Right hand side of all the FDs contains only C and D. Out of four attributes, in the RHS, we have only C and D. That means in the RHS, A and B both are missing. In the RHS of all the FDs, A and B is missing. That means nothing can determine A and B. Check my words. There is no attribute of the table which can determine A and B. So A and B have to be the part of candidate key. I am not directly saying that A and B together will form a candidate key, but definitely whatever is the candidate key, A and B will be the part of candidate key. So why don't we check AB closure? Who knows AB itself is the candidate key. So if we find AB closure, then we will see that A and B will be there definitely. And because of AB together, because AB is there, this dependency AB will bring in C. So C comes in the closure. And also because of B, check B is there in the closure. This dependency which I am ticking, B determines D, will bring in D. And that are all the four attributes. That means A and B are sufficient to determine all the attributes of the table. So if any set of attributes like AB determines all the attributes of the table, then such attributes form a candidate key. So AB in the given table is the candidate key because AB closure contains ABCD. But wait, you should not stop here. When you are asked who is the candidate key, okay, you have found AB is the candidate key. You have found, fine. But it may happen that the table has more candidate keys, isn't it so? So how do you answer this question? Are there any more candidate keys or only AB is the candidate key? How do you answer this? Now, one thing is sure that whatever is the candidate key, AB must be the part of candidate key because none of the RHS contains A and B. So, if there are more candidate keys, AB must be the part of the candidate key. Now, the problem is if you add anything to it, thinking that, okay, let me check, is ABC a candidate key? But then this will be a super key because AB alone can determine everything, isn't it? ABCD. Then what is the C doing here? This is an extraneous attribute over here. Then ABC becomes a super key. It's not a candidate key, isn't it? Now, somebody may question, sir, okay, AB is the candidate key. Why don't you check BC? Is BC a candidate key? Isn't it? Now, BC cannot be candidate key. Please don't waste time in checking this because we know that candidate key must contain A and B, isn't it? Try finding BC closure. If you have certain some doubt, you find BC closure, and BC closure should contain everything, but it will not. BC closure contains BC. Now, due to this B and due to this dependency which I am ticking, D joins. Okay. But note the dependency which I am now circling, AB determines C. Problem is we don't have left hand side A and B in the closure yet, isn't it? And we don't have A itself in the closure. Check that we don't have A in the closure. So if we don't have A in the closure, all the attributes are not there in the closure. So BC cannot determine everything. BC is definitely not the candidate key. Why? Because A has to be part of the candidate key. Come on, A and B must be there in the candidate key. Now, if A and B must be there in the candidate key, then whatever is the other candidate key other than A and B, This is one of the candidate key. Whatever is the other candidate key must contain AB. Now, as soon as you add anything C or D to this, it will become a super key. Then the table contains only one candidate key. I hope you have seen that videos where we found out the candidate keys in number of exercises, isn't it? And all these fundamentals were explained in those videos. So AB is the candidate key because AB plus closure contains ABCD. Then watch out, this particular dependency which I am marking, this is partial because the left hand side of this B determines D is a prime attribute. Yes, B is a prime attribute because if AB is the candidate key, then B is a subset of AB, isn't it? So on the left hand side, we have part of the candidate key. Candidate key is AB and B is the part of the candidate key. And what about the right hand side? Right hand side is D and D is a non-prime attribute. I is AB because D is not the part of candidate key. Candidate key is AB, then D is neither in that A or nor in B. It is a non-prime attribute. So what is partial dependency? Come again. If the left hand side of the dependency is subset of the candidate key and it is determining a non-prime attribute, only then this type of dependency is known as partial dependency. So as the table has a partial dependency, we say this table is not in 2NF. What about this AB determines C? Oh no, this is not partial because the left hand side is complete candidate key. It is not the part of candidate key. And the right hand side is a non-prime attribute. That's fine. That's fine. Isn't it? A candidate key is determining a non-prime attribute. Non-prime attribute. This is not partial, but part of candidate key is determining non-prime attribute. Is partial. This is partial dependency and this is B determines C. Whereas AB determines C, complete candidate key AB is determining a non-prime attribute. This is not partial. This is partial. Okay. So we have found out that this table is not in 2NF because of this partial dependency. Now we want to bring this table into 2NF. It is not in 2NF. We want it in 2NF. Then what's the way? Take this dependency, B determines D. The left hand side is B. So you find B closure. Of course, B closure will contain B and D because B determines D. Yes, that's it. Due to this dependency which I am ticking, nothing will come in because AB is not yet in the closure. So B closure will contain BD. Now, what if you write all four attributes A, B, C, D of our table, original table R, and now we have found B closure. B closure contains D. So we say one of the table will contain BD. Let's name it as R2. Are you understanding? We say B takes away D. I'm not striking away B. Hello. Because B closure has taken away D. So don't strike away B. You strike away D. We say B has pulled out D. And the other table, R2, will contain the remaining attributes A, B, and C. Now, hello. Wait a minute. We have R1. I'm sorry. R1. Now we have decomposed R into R1, R2. First of all, this should be lossless. For lossless, there should be a common attribute B. Yes, B is common attribute in both the tables and it has to be candidate key in one of the tables. Note here R2 has a applicable dependency B determines D, which we had in original table. That means B closure is going to contain B comma D. Clearly B is determining everything B and D. So B is the candidate key of R2. So common attribute B is the candidate key in at least one of the tables. Wait, don't stop here. You should see that these two tables R1 and R2 are really in 2NF or not. Who knows? After decomposition, these still are not in 2NF. Now tell me which dependency is applicable on R1 out of the given dependencies. AB determines C. This was the first dependency. That means AB is the candidate key of R1 because it can determine C. So AB closure is going to contain ABC. So clearly AB is the candidate key of R1 and complete candidate key is determining a non-prime attribute C. So this is clearly in 2NF. It does not have any partial dependency. And what about R2? R2 has B as the candidate key, and B is determining a non-prime attribute D. So complete candidate key B is determining a non-prime attribute. So this is also not partial dependency. Then both the tables have dependencies which are not partial. Hence R1 and R2 both are in 2NF. I hope you have understood this exercise also. In the next exercise, we'll come with a very interesting example again, decomposing a table into 2NF. Thank you very much.